I'm EP. I'm also worried that my computer is going to start hitching and slowly explode on me. But, I don't know. So long as I, like, put the little mental sign up in my head that says, ignore exploding computer, I don't know, I'll be fine. That's how I used to feel when I was, like, at work at McDonald's. I put the wet floor sign down, and injury just doesn't exist beyond that point. Because at the end of the day, if somebody gets, well, not the end of the day, I guess at whatever point in the day this happens. If somebody slips over when you got the wet floor sign down, sure, like, grievous bodily harm could potentially occur to a complete stranger, potentially an old man, potentially killing them. But you put the floor sign down, and so the company isn't liable. If the company isn't liable, then what's the harm? I had a whole idea for this stream where I was going to go on a big rant about, not big rant, but I was going to try and go through a discussion on why I think $80 games are actually, like, kind of based in a kind of, like, fucked up corporate sense. And then I realized I don't have enough data to make a reasonable argument. And also all of the data that I could find completely, like, disproved my point. And so instead of going, this is an interesting development within my own brain space, I went, I don't want to look like an idiot on the internet. I'm just going to pretend that I never did it in the first place. Have I not already done this? I think last time I played this, which was only like 2 days ago, I didn't save my progress. And so we could end up doing like all of peak 2 and 3. I looked up the speedrun for this game. I feel like there's not a lot of games that fall into this category that I'm about to describe. SSX 3 is one of the rare games that is really good from the 2000s, where the speedrun is incredibly fucking boring. It's just people playing the video game. And it's, and like, don't get me wrong, Dark Souls, all bosses, is kind of just people playing the video game. But you watch the speedrun of that, and you realize, like, hey, I'm dog shit. You watch the speedrun of SSX 3, and you go, I'm the GOAT, and they're trash? Question mark? That's not to say that, you know, they're actually trash. I'm just saying that, like, for me, as someone who is the GOAT, I thought they were trash. And give me 2 weeks, and I would mog them. In fact, I already do. Anyway, I've been working on self-affirmation, and it's somehow become narcissism. Just don't think about it too hard. It's slop, man. Are you starting to enjoy producing slop? I feel like that's a grammatically incorrect sentence. Not on you, that's on me, because I've developed an incapability of reading, as most men that are in their 20s who have decided that TikTok is their life have. But am I enjoying making slop? Kinda. I'm enjoying making slop because it means that I can spend more time making a good video, and I don't have to worry about the video that I put a lot of effort into bombing. Because if the video that has a lot of effort put into it bombs, who gives a shit? I've got like 4 slop videos coming out in between the next main channel video. And so why would I ever consider it like, oh, a moral quandary? Well, not a moral quandary. I guess there is a slight moral quandary in that, this is actually a video that I've wanted to make for about 6 months now, in which kind of treating the internet as a digital landfill that you financially profit off of does in not an insubstantial way contribute to climate change, in my opinion. Just in case, like, the government or Mother Earth considers me, like, at libel for that statement. But, like, if you make trash, and you only make trash, surely you contribute to, like, a data center just as much as... Well, okay, let me run it back a little bit. Not as much as ChatGPT, but, like, surely to a non-negligible amount, you know? And for as much as I love heating up the planet and making it so that summer solstice is like a 32-degree day, I don't particularly want to just be like, let's just throw all concept of accountability out the window because I need to get my paycheck. I'm a little pay pig. So to give you a simple answer, yes, I will be buying all of the Fortnite skins, and then immediately after going into ChatGPT and typing in big breasts, beautiful breasts for the newest Fortnite skin, which is Chun-Li? Question mark. I don't know. I don't pay attention to Fortnite. I don't care. Do you enjoy making money? I mean, I definitely didn't save. Can I level with you? Do I enjoy making money? If you'd asked me that question 3 years ago, a very stupid man would have come up on the stream and gone, no, I hate making money, and also I still have a passionate hatred for Guilty Gear Strive. But now, in the year of our Lord 2025, I don't know, every single time I release a video and I get to see it make a number, I get to go, I'm a business hustler. I'm on the grind set. I'm one more video away from becoming the Lemonade Stand's first podcast guest. I am wise. Dividends, residuals. Rise and grind. Me when I'm a 30-year-old NEET in Japan, and I think that Monster Hunter Wilds is unplayable. Just a little bit of making fun of people that only play video games humor for you. I'm testing the waters a little bit. I'll like shotgun it out, see what lands, and then alter my strategy from there. So like next stream, it's gonna be right-wing grifting, and if that does really well, I don't know, buddy. You'll never see me have blue hair and pronouns ever again. This is an awful line to ride. This is an awful line to ride. Let's get off this bit. Okay, on to the next bit. Failed bit. Cut it down. Blue hair and hair plugs. I mean, to be fair, I do have the BH and P, and if the and P stands for and pronouns, you know that the BH stands for bald head. Now watch this trick. They call me the George Bush of SSX. I'll go from political conversation to watch this drive. Big Yellow raided with 40... Oh my goodness. Thank you for the raid. What are you playing, Big Yellow? I'm gonna take a wild guess. I'm using my knowledge of influencers that I exclusively keep in a database as opposed to actually, like, watching and consuming creative media. And I'm going, Pokemon, FNAF. Potentially, if it was a nostalgia night, potentially Gmod SFM. And shaking your head every single time they do, like, a sentence splice of a slur. Actually, it was Gmod, because when I was around when, like, Machinima was popping, Machinima to me was like Halo 3. That was the business. And that was just people pretending to make, like, military dramas with the Green Man. But when it came to, like, Gmod, was it heinous, or was it, like, one step away from Skibbity Toilet forever? Damn snowboarding, I wish it was snowy here. No, you don't. No, you don't. We, as people, have... I don't want to call it, like, a negativity bias, because it's kind of not. But we have a yearning for something that isn't here. I guess this is just me recontextualizing grass is greener on the other side, but let me land. Let me land. Because the summer rolls around, and you go, fuck, I wish it was snowing. I wish there was ice. Ice in the fridge. Get a cold pack on me. But then when winter rolls around, for some reason you're quick to complain about, like, frostbite. Not that you literally get frostbite, but the moment that it's more than -1, you're like, oh, I wish it was summer. I'm gonna take a trip to Spain. Oh, I wish it was in the southern hemisphere. You need to, as a human being, engage with the pain of the world. For the ebb and flow of joy and misery is a part of the human experience. And you're blessed to experience it. I like winter because I can get dripped the fuck out. Now that's true. I'll give you that. I wouldn't deny that for a single second. I think that winter fashion, as a man who exclusively wears black jeans, has a voice crack, and also black hoodies, I think winter goes a little bit foolish when it comes to fashion choices. But you are fucking stupid if you think for a single second I would switch up 30-degree weather for -5. Not to say that your personal preference is wrong, but, I mean, I'm the one on the screen, so I've got to be right? Is that how Tucker Carlson feels? He's the one on the screen, so he's like, well, I've got to be right. You know what? I think I do understand how misinformation gets spread. You get an audience and you just get confident that you're right. You don't need to check up. After all, you're the one on the screen. What are they going to go and do? But go on the screen themselves? Probably not. Let's just say, for sake of argument, that I am on the screen. Well, I mean, you're on my screen, so technically speaking, you're right. Game didn't give me a trick. Love that. I'm let's playing. Even if they do go on the screen, nobody is watching. Jaden, why are you glazing me? You do realize that, like, I need to be taken down a peg. I don't need to have my ego inflated any further. Although I will take the glaze every single time. There's a deep level of hypocrisy inside of me because I'm constantly thinking, why do we glaze influencers? Why do we glaze influencers? But the moment that I release slop and there's like 4 people that have been on the internet for 10 minutes going, this is the greatest video that I've ever seen. For some reason, I believe that they're being sincere. Probably because they're right. It is the best video they've ever seen. I'm the GOAT. Anyway, I've been working on ego management lately. It's not going very well, as you might be able to tell. Did you hear they outlawed Calvin and Hobbes in Tennessee? I have awful news for you. I have no idea what the fuck you just said. I think that for as much as English conversation can be a little bit, incomprehensible at times, you know, Greg's sausage roll. I know it's not hamburgers, it's hard to understand. For as much as English conversation can be a little bit incomprehensible at times, there's so many American companies and states that you just don't hear about unless you're in America. That the moment that the conversation moves outside of like East and West Coast, specifically like San Francisco and New York, maybe Florida if you're having a good day, no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Absolutely nothing. I'm actually curious from your perspective as a THPK fan. I don't know what that acronym means, but here we go. They call me Mario. Any opinions on the new Mario Kart? The only opinion that I have on the new Mario Kart... Actually, no, I do have opinions. But the only one that actually matters is I haven't played it. And so all I can really judge is the fact that it costs $80. And I don't know about anyone else, but I don't think that there's many games that I haven't played before that I would pay like $80 for. Age of Empires 2, as a game that I have now played for several hundred hours, if you said, hey, you need to pay like $80 to play this anymore, I would probably say, fuck it, sure, why not? Because I already know that I like the product. The moment that you put $80 in as like an initial asking price, I feel like there's just a certain level of the market that you just can't address from that point forward. Also, not to mention, you know, while we're sat here going PS5 has no games as a bit for the last like 4 years, Switch 2 literally has one game and they're like 500 quid please. It's I don't want to be the gaming doomer, because there's 400 bald white men on YouTube that can be that for you. But there is no way in hell that you could convince me to buy a console that has one game. And then the fact that I'm pausing. I'm standing on business. The amount of people that I have seen lose their fucking mind over the Switch 2 who are diehard Melee, Nintendo could never get me back, this is the last straw heads. I'm not saying that you can't go and buy the Switch 2. It's not what I'm saying. But if you're a Melee head, and you were standing on business, and you were saying, oh, no, this is too much. They're not even letting me use UCF. How is anyone even supposed to know? And you're buying a Switch 2? You're a class traitor. You're a class traitor. Like, if you're not a class traitor, like, you're doing something wrong. Also, I've just looked at the bar at the moment. Is the voice coming through a bit too loud? Because I just saw myself hit red like 400 million times. You're a class traitor. Thanks, Tucker Carlson, man on the screen. I'm not gonna say that's me, but if this hair grows out any further, there's always a slim chance that you could see me sat there with, what was his name? Ted Cruz? I don't know. Yeah, I watched the newest Lemonade stand. What about it? Leon, stop ignoring me. Brother, what do you mean? Jaden, no offense. We're doing personal trauma on stream right here, right now. Well, not personal trauma, but look at how much I'm looking at SSX. I can't read every chat message. Unless you're talking about Instagram, in which case I uninstalled it from my phone and I'm not logged in on my computer. And so I haven't seen any of the Instagram reels. Jaden is a friend that everyone needs because he sends 400 reels a day. And then lovingly, not derogatory, he lovingly sends 400 reels a day. And then when you don't read them all, or like watch them all, and you watch them all in bulk a month later, he says, "That's sick, man. I love you." And that's the best kind of friend you can have. SSX 2012 is incredible okay. Oh, incredibly okay. I was gonna say read the room, but I've realized that I actually have something to say on that. You're on crack, question mark? I played the first like 30 minutes of it, and then for some reason on the PS3 emulator, it just kind of breaks beyond that point. And so, from what I've played of it, it was fucking based. And so I'm gonna call you wrong, stupid, and I don't know. Consider growing and changing as a person, perhaps. No, you're playing the best one. I do agree, but I don't agree at the same time. I think that this is becoming gaming talk. Welcome to 4chan. But, I think that, like, SSX Tricky and 3, despite the fact that I think, SSX Tricky is, like, SSX 3 is, like, better by a substantial margin. I think you can make an argument as to which one is better, either way. Because SSX 3 ultimately has this mechanic, which is extremely easy to bypass, and in the process completely destroys any concept of difficulty in gaining high scores, because you just do anything like this, and then you hold up on the right stick, and then you ride the combo out until you get to the end. Where are the roguelike elements? I can't watch this. Northern Lion is 2 streams down. You're in the wrong place. I do appreciate the comparison, though. Although he doesn't have nearly as many voice cracks as me, as I'm finding out right now. I can't wait till I hit 30, and then I have, like, a second puberty arc, and my voice gets, like, so deep it wraps back around to being squeaker material. Do people still use the term squeaker? Because that's like a very 2012 Call of Duty Xbox Live lobby term in my head. But that's not like the landscape that I've been in for 400 years. Well, not 400 years. More like 13. Because now if you like log into Valorant, everyone's e-dating, but they're also like 18. And so any of them could be squeakers. Do they feel comfortable with, like, insulting their own player base like that? I'll never know, because I'm not playing Valorant, fuck that. We need to, as a collection of gamers, we need to, like, unionize against Riot Games. And by that I mean we all need to go to Riot headquarters and go, look, if we're playing this game, we need, like, a higher salary. We need any salary. The mental damage that League of Legends does to the young mind, incomprehensible. Xi Jinping was right, okay. Awful phrase to have out of context, but I've never played a single MOBA AMA. You're the gamer version of, like, people that live in the woods off the grid in the year of our Lord 2025. People are watching your Instagram reels of a life that you've made up, and they're going, fuck, I wish that was me. They're thinking to themselves, yeah, I might work a corporate job, but if all I did every single day was drain sewage from the sewage pipes, I would be happy. Little do they know, they couldn't handle a single second of the shit. When's the Deadlock video coming out? What does that even mean? I actually haven't played Deadlock yet. I think, I'm not gonna say that there's only room for like one MOBA in everyone's life, because, let's be honest, depending on how much you value your time, you could, like, triple dip. Parlay your League of Legends with some Dota 2, and then parlay that with Heroes of the Storm. Oh, fuck! Oh, I'm poor. Fuck. But I do think that if I played more than one MOBA... I already have, like, a very slim faith in my fellow man. Primarily because of League of Legends, in part because when Slippy rolled around, it revealed to me that Melee wasn't this beautiful bastion of a game that everyone plays for love. Some people are playing it just to type lol, 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 GG after taking the first stock and then leaving. If I played more than one MOBA, I'd be off the deep end. It would be a case of a therapist would be nice, and instead like a case of the therapist needs to be living at my house. Which if you're a 50-year-old man means I need a wife. Anyway, at least they said GG. They didn't say GG. They said lol. You remember when fucking... I don't know why I'm saying you remember when SSX Tricky had blank. When SSX Tricky is a game that came out in 2001. There's a game that came out in 2003. If you remember SSX 3, chances are you remember SSX Tricky. You remember when, like, SSX, Tricky had, like, a hip-hop and electronic soundtrack, and then, for some reason, 3 and On Tour roll around, and they're like, we're doing pop-punk now. And it's like, I like pop-punk, but what the fuck happened? What happened to that nice, distinctive electronic sound that you had? Ugh. I remember seeing ads for Tricky in the early aughts. I'm LARPing as a millennial because I don't remember that in the slightest. I think I remember ads for, like, Tony Hawk, but SSX? Absolutely not. I mean, I would have been 4 when this game came out, so it'd be a bit odd if it was like, yeah, I can't remember the basic times table, but SSX 3? I remember that. I don't know. My music taste was formed by Skate 3 and Funk, unfortunately. You can just say that you listen to Weezer. Like, you don't have to try and obscure it. Oh, I don't listen to Weezer. I don't listen to Weezer. I listen to Ozma, actually. Fuck off. Australian... New Zealand Weezer? Question mark? Hatsune Miku? Well, this is how you know that I've been through, like, every single stage of internet degeneracy, because it's like, you put anything from Weezer to any of the classic Miku songs on, and I'm not singing along to it if it's Miku, because my Japanese doesn't exist. But the Weezer, I'll know every word. I do look like Buddy Holly, actually. The TF2 parody of El Scorcho went hard. Don't say that. I shouldn't know what that means. Once again, sentences that didn't exist before the year 2015. I'm surprised that this series hasn't been remastered yet. This is actually kind of what the plan is for the video after the next one, but it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that this game hasn't been remastered, purely on the basis of how EA as a company is operating. Because if you look at this game was released kind of alongside the era of FIFA Street and NFL Street and NBA Street. So it was like, this is seen as a sports game in EA's eyes, but it's also under the brand of EA Big. It's under the brand of EA Big, which was it was the subsidiary, well, not a subsidiary, it was like a different branch of EA that was doing extreme sports and modified sports games. And so, unless they decided to remaster a bunch of the EA Big games, which they did in 2012, they redid FIFA Street and they did SSX. I don't see SSX coming back in any, like, substantial way. Which I don't know, I feel a little conflicted about, because chances are I wouldn't like the approach that they would take, anyway. Not to be like, you know, modding games bad, grr, I shake my $80 at my newly bought Switch 2. But if Skate 4 as a monetization platform is anything to go by, I probably wouldn't like how they do SSX nowadays. Because I want SSX as like a single player game. I don't give a fuck about what this would be if it was like, oh, what if it was an online multiplayer and you had ultimate packs and you got the ultimate snowboard. And every single season we added a new character like Chun-Li and Hatsune Miku. You know, like, that's just not what I'm vibing with. But that's what modern EA is. And so, I don't know. Yes, I wouldn't be entirely against it, but at the same time, I can see far enough into the future to pull a Doctor Strange. In how many universes do we get a good SSX game in the future? There's like 1 in 5 million billion. Adding Miku is always awesome. I'll give you that. It was a bad example. Knowing EA, they'd monetize everything. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When do you reckon, like, the next time a company is gonna, like, Just run it back with the concept of NFTs. Oh, get me back. Oh, you motherfucker. Because I'm convinced that since the success of CS:GO skins and FIFA Ultimate Packs, we're always gonna have a like 5-year cycle of people trying to reinvent the CS:GO skin. Which realistically, that's kind of what NFTs were, but substantially less useful. I'm gonna say it. It's a controversial statement, but I'm gonna say it. If NFTs weren't capitalized by a speculative market, there is a slim chance that an NFT could have been like a useful product in some kind of format. It's just that it was absolutely onslaughted by the most insufferable people that you've ever met who saw a picture of an ape and went, millions, please. Honestly, they're gonna fucking lose their mind when they find out that zoos are real. They go to Woburn Safari Park, they see the gorillas in the enclosure, and they go, 4758, you're real! Guy who looks at his NFTs the way that 7-year-olds look at Pokemon and hope that they're real. I just need a new Rayman where they go balls out. Now that I wouldn't disagree with for a single second. You know what they... Okay, I'm gonna get crucified for this, but... You know what they need to bring back? There was a Rayman Raving Rabbids game on the Wii. There was a WiiWare exclusive game where you were in like a trolley cart and you just needed to collect everything on the level, but it kind of went fucking foolish. And this isn't me trying to be like, oh, remember Scrimblow Bimblow? 4 other people that have played it? Rabbids Go Home! That's the one. This isn't me trying to appeal to the 4 people that remember Scrimblow Bimblow. But that game unironically went hard, and if Ubisoft for a single second give in to the Minions archetype again, I want them to give in like that. I don't want them to do Mario and Rayman Raving Rabbids do XCOM. I want them to make the Scrimblow Bimblows have a trolley cart and want to go to the moon. Which I think is the plot of Minions, but whatever. Rayman is never gonna make dudes feel inadequate at the urinal again, shaking my head. Well, I mean, he was shaking his damn wangus, but, you know. Leon, when are you starting estrogen? I'm trying to think of a fun way to respond to that, but I can't think of anything that is good. Because the answer that you want to hear is soon, but anyone who's worked in, like, fast food, for example, will know that what I'm about to say is true. The answer that you want to hear isn't necessarily the best answer. There is a funnier, substantially funnier answer than soon, but I can't seem to find it. They're calling me a talentless hack. They're calling me go to the left side, not politically, but like towards the rail. Should you start pre or post time skip? Do you mean ecstasy? That's what E means to me. Like, if you just type the letter E, I'm imagining ecstasy as opposed to estrogen. I'm assuming you mean estrogen. And if you're asking that question of me, a bold cishet man, I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but I am saying that there's people that would be better suited to asking your question. E is also estrogen in the current year. I'm playing SSX3 on twitch.tv. Do you really think I'm not, like, living in a perpetual time circle of 2005? I'm sat here going, God, I hope that the Halo 3 is good. Remember that Halo 2 ending? God, it sucked. Groundhog Day? Well, it's not Groundhog Day. It's just I'm not willing to move on from the future. It's more like the, those Japanese soldiers that didn't give up the fight even after the surrender. They took the ending of Halo 2 to heart. And they said, well, if Master Chief is saying finishing this fight, so am I. I wish I could ground my hog right now. Kip, are you feeling... You need to load up an incognito tab by the sounds of it. You've been talking about yoinking your hog twice in the chat. And you've never been talking about yoinking your hog. What the hell? Run me back. I've got COVID brain fog. The COVID brain horny. No! She ground on my hog till I subscribed to Leon Massey on twitch.television. Go on, AB Rogue. Go on, AB Rogue. Live true to your chat message. Go on, Soph. Live true to the chat message. There we go. AB Rogue, thank you for that. Orca Woman, thank you for that. She finally grounded my hog. Yes. I actually, I think I need to see if I still have a Xbox 360 lying around, because I will need to get SSX 2012 for the video that I want to make anyway. And so if I do, and I like it, if I do get it and I like it, then I will probably stream a little bit of it. I'm trying to get, not to make the stream about streaming, which I do just about every single time I stream, but I'm trying to get a little bit better about streaming, because now I have less obstacles in my way that were getting in the way for like the last like 2 years of streaming. Idea, make the next stream about me. This sounds like a really healthy chatter streamer relationship that you're setting up. I think they call it, it starts with a P and ends in arasocial. Epica social. There we go. I just want to be on the screen. You are on the screen. Your chat message is on the screen right now. Paraphernalia. No, that's not what they call it. Paranormal. Yeah, that's the one. You're all somewhere near the ballpark, but much like most Twitch chatters, you just kind of can't hit the goal that everyone expects of you. It's crazy to think how if this game came out in like, or like if we were playing this game back in, let's say like 2009, the discourse around it would be like, if they remade this game in the modern day, there would be achievements every single time you do an Uber trick. But now, like, the discourse is like, imagine if they made this game nowadays, you'd have to pay for every single Uber trick. And you could do more Uber tricks if you paid the extra special battle pass. Miserable? Question mark? What if they put Jonathan in the next SSX? I don't know your friends. I don't know what the fuck you just meant by saying Jonathan. Jonathan Banks? Run the playback back? Boop. I don't know your friends. I don't know who Jonathan Banks is. What if they put my buddy Greg in the next game? Just a big playable sausage roll. Mike from Breaking Bad. I haven't seen Breaking Bad. You know what I did watch the other day, though? I watched Ikiru. And I'm being vulnerable here, and I'm telling you that my past contains fanaticism with Japan. But I watched Ikiru the other day because I can't let go of my weeaboo phase. Something Nico Nico Ni. But it's kind of fucking crazy how everything has kind of gotten better in the last 70 years. Now, obviously, that's not to say that we've removed, like, human suffering. But obviously, like, cameras get better, technology gets better. But acting has just gotten 400 times better. Ikiru, which is like that's Kino cinema. People are like, holy fuck, I love Japan, sugoi desu. Also, it's like 12 Angry Men for grieving. But also, the film has acting designed for someone who is watching it from 40 meters away. Everyone's facial expressions is the most ChatGPT, show me a man who is in anguish you could imagine. Anytime anyone's nervous, their fucking hands start shaking like they're in the middle of a magnitude 7. And, I mean, to be fair, it's Japan. That's maybe it was literally a magnitude 7. But I'm just saying, if that was the talent of 1952, off the top of my head, 1952? I think it's 1952. If that was the talent of 1952, you'd send Chris Pratt back in time, he'd be a fucking wizard. He would be an acting wizard. People would put him in Salem witch trials for his ability to replicate an Italian plumber who's a cartoon man. Anyway, acting has improved. That's the end of the timestamp for that one, Kip. We'll figure out how to end the bit later. We can sort it out in post. Koopas, there we go. I specifically started streaming SSX 3 because I needed footage, and I've just realized Shadowplay has been off the entire time. Also, don't mind me, I'm about to throw up in my mouth. And I don't mean that as like I've seen something or read something in the chat that is foul. I mean, like, I'm making a bodily function. Although then again, I shouldn't put the blame on you as the chatter. I should really put the blame on myself. Because unless you're like, okay, don't get me wrong. If you are 4 years old, or maybe like 2, I guess, You announce that you shit to the world. You're going, Mama, Papa, Uncle Leon, I've shit in my pants. Obviously, like, with some different verbiage. But the same message comes across. But as the streamer in like 28, as a 28-year-old streamer, I probably shouldn't be like, hey chat, I'm about to vomit in my mouth, and also I've shit my diaper. Also, yeah, I'm wearing a diaper, by the way, and not in a sexy way. Nah, that's content. I think if your idea of content is a grown man shitting his pants, I'm not saying that, like, chivalry is dead, but, like, something has gone wrong in society a little bit. Actually, no, hold a minute, hold. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. Because I was about to blame, like, TikTok and the generation of internet degeneracy surrounding vertical feeds. But you have to remember, like, internet degeneracy now is so much more tame than when it was, like, 2006 to 2010. You would just, like, someone would tell you to type in a web page, and it was the most foul shit that you'll ever see in your life. I don't mean foul shit that you had seen up until that point in your life. I mean, literally, to this day, some of the most vile shit you will ever see. Tub girl? Come on now. There's no need. One man, one jar is, like, that's a timeline split right there. One of them is you don't see one man, one jar, and you go and become an accountant with, like, a wife and kids. The other side is you become a Twitch streamer playing SSX3. Now that's cinema. I don't think Scorsese was watching One Man, One Jar and going, you know, that isn't Scorsese, that's David Lynch, whatever. Same difference. On today's stream, I'm just going to be in the bathroom instead of playing games. Please subscribe. It's crazy how Asmongold can't do that stream because he's always living in his own toilet in his living room, bedroom, wherever he streams from. I don't know. It's just easy to punch down on streamers that, or punch up at streamers that you all know, and based on statistical average, you're probably politically aligned against. Something, blood teeth on the wall. Yeah. Alternate timeline in which people rally behind Asmongold and all start putting their teeth blood on the wall as, like, solidarity. And if you're wondering what the fuck is he saying, I also am equally as confused, and I'm the one saying it. Anyway, can I get a sheesh? Thank you. Thank you for sheeshing blood on the wall. Do you reckon that the vernacular of, or not the vernacular, what's the slang of the 2010s is dead? Because, like, all of the cultural elements of the 2010s, they're not dead, but, like, their kids are running around in the vernacular of the modern day. Skibbity toilet is just Shrek is love, Shrek is life. That's the only one that I've really got, if I'm being completely honest. Do the kids say, like, oh, that's sick nowadays? I'm trying to think of other things that I would say in like 2010. And I think I'm realizing now that, like, maybe I'm like tapping into trauma because I'm like, fuck, I don't remember anything from 2010. Except for playing like Dark Souls 2. For some reason, I remember playing Dark Souls 2 as my first Dark Souls when I should have been doing my like study leave for exams. And then failing all of my exams immediately after. I literally have, I had one passing grade, and that was in maths, and that was the year prior to doing my GCSEs, because they gave us the option to do it 1 year early as like an experiment. The Polish people say XD, that's fucking based. Oh, you know which one I like? Fucking, I still like this. Fucking... One of my mates started using that again, the one where it's like a little colon into a 3, and then a C as if it's like a paw that's going up to their face. That one's based. I love that shit. Do you think that you'll bring this up to your therapist wife one day? Well, there's a lot of obstacles between that hypothetical, if I'm being honest. Money, relationships, confidence to talk to other people, confidence in looking people in the eye. I did have a period the other day where I was walking home from like the shop, and for some reason my brain was freaking out at the prospect of having to talk to someone who I hadn't made eye contact with, which is already like, you know, well, what was the indication that you might be talking to this person? But I also hadn't seen their face. I was walking behind them, and I was going to walk past them. And for some reason, my brain was racked with fear. The imminent was coming. A conversation with a human being. My goodness, could you imagine a fear more intense? Anyway, on the next episode of Leon definitely isn't neurodivergent. I've been thinking about collecting coins. I don't know. It was just death behind me. That's not how that works. I don't think I could handle being in a job, in like a customer-facing role anymore. I don't know how I managed to do it for 3 years when I was working at like McDonald's, and then for like 2 years again when I was working at like the fucking pet store. But I'm incapable of being like the first person to strike up a conversation. But Leon, you look at me in the eyes all the time. Oh god, I have bad news for you. You're talking to like one of several thousand other bold 5'7" men. Listen for the accent. The accent is the key indicator that you're talking to me. Look for the man who's bald but is very clearly LARPing, because in 3 days' time his hair will grow back to a reasonable level, to the point in which you could still call him bald, but he's clearly not shaved his head in a while. Look at this. You can see my fucking hairline. It's vile. On a real note, from one autistic person to another, it does get easier. I do know that this is true because... And I'm not even talking about, like, the concept of masking. It does genuinely just get easier over time, because the more that you... The times in my life when I've been the most active at tournaments, or when I was working the most, it did just kind of seem to, like, not fade completely, but I was less likely to get into a funk where my brain's going, if you talk to this person, you will die. You will implode immediately. But still... It doesn't matter how much you practice. Sometimes you will just have a day like that. Wahoo! I do think that there's, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, like, people that say school is the best time of your life, have some kind of privilege that I don't have. Because I don't necessarily think that's true. But it is crazy the amount of people, specifically working class people, that get out of, school and go like, fuck, that sucked. Actually, that kind of wasn't the best time of my life. I kind of like being in the real world a little bit more. I just remember being in high school, being miserable every single day, and going, the future is full of peril. And now I realize, I wake up every single day and I realize the future is just full of the future, brother. The world might, like, be a little bit difficult at times, but ultimately, it doesn't care. In a good way, you know? It's not out there to hurt you, it's just, you know, sometimes it's gonna be tough. But that doesn't mean that it don't get better. Anyway, enough with this, like, strange, I'm your parasocial friend consoling you through a subconscious crisis that you're currently having. How about that, 2x KO, am I right? Oh, fuck me, I need a cigarette. I need 10 cigarettes, fuck. Putting AI-generated uplifting music behind this. Thank goodness. Ugh. Life, am I right? Why would you give up on the misery of today when there's the joy of AI-generated music tomorrow? Anyway, so some of you might be in a creative field. I don't want you to have a mild crisis over the fact that there's someone out there that actually thinks like that. It's okay. Give it like 4 more years and people are gonna go, AI-generated shit is tacky and weird. Because realistically, the most applicable vector for the technology in a creative sense is for spam. It won't last more than 4 years. It will last more than 4 years. I don't want to be like a, how would I phrase this? Like an AI pessimist or optimist. But, like, AI as a creative technology is going to be around for the rest of our lives. That I am very, very confident of. I am unconvinced that it will stay as a popular and novel idea for that time, though. Just you wait, Mr. Massey. I am AI generating a roast on you as we speak. I need you to know, just a jag, that I read that message as I am AI generating a roast, as in like a roast dinner, right now. Me generating my Yorkshire pudding, doesn't taste enough like slop. ChatGPT, give my Yorkshire pudding big breasts, beautiful breasts, big naturals. My wife is in AI education and literacy, and our whole deal at the moment is getting people aware of how it needs to be regulated to ensure that the tools are used for positive purposes, other than profit and slop. Yeah, exactly. Like the concept of I guess we're approaching real talk here, but AI as a technology does have like very genuine uses, especially when it comes to kind of condensing information, which is currently the kind of thing that it's being advertised for when it comes to an individual user basis. But the big problem at the moment is just like it's regulated in a way that doesn't encourage you to use it for the best purposes, and instead encourages you to use it as a as like a in-between before actually paying someone. Like 5 years ago, you would go from absolutely nothing, you have no money, and so you make something yourself. You have a little bit of money, so you commission someone on Fiverr, and you have a lot of money, and so you have like professional industry. The problem at the moment seems to be that AI as a technology kind of condenses down those first two categories into nobody gets paid anywhere along the system. And so if they could if there was regulation in place to make it so that they don't completely dissolve that like middle market, you could see a bit better an application. But then again, I'm not writing to my local policymakers going, hey, here's my personal anecdotes on what I think we should do about AI. I'm probably not the best person to talk about it. Leon uncovers the secret issue behind every issue: capitalism. I mean, it's the bigger problem is the concept of an unchecked market, right? Like, I don't think that everyone can like throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to like the concept of capitalism, but like if you have a completely unchecked free market, very quickly it will be capitalized on by bad actors. Which is basically your message, just in like a longer format. But then again, I'm on the screen. I'm the one that gets to extrapolate your point outwards and have you go, yep, nodders. I agree. Guest lecturer Leon at my philosophy of AI paper. Little do you know that the philosophy teacher, Leon Massey, is also using AI because I've been hired into a job that I'm woefully underqualified for. +2, capitalism bad. That's not... Well, I mean, it was what I was saying, but it's not entirely what I was saying, but, you know. Well, we'll let it be. My wife recently worked at Meta, and in their internal work version of Facebook, it's just people using AI to write paragraphs of nothing that they're all hoping Zuck will read, so it's so depressing. Surely if that's what AI is being used for, in that specific scenario, it's no different from, like, ipsum solorum? Is that the, like, fake text that they use that kind of looks like text? Because if there's no, like, actual, like, meaning or vetting behind the words that are being put on the screen, lorem ipsum, that's the one. It's just, you gotta have a little bit of meaning to the words. Then again, I guess if you got a quota to hit, I don't know, something, go off king with a really big question mark, unless that's actually a bad take, in which case, don't go off king. You, chatter, stop talking. I need to lock in. Well, I don't need to lock in, I just need to, like, stop locking myself out. This is becoming a League of Legends stream. I make this joke every single stream, every single time. I think I need to, like, workshop new jokes, or maybe have, like, an original thought. Question mark? Which one is easier? I want to maximize as much profit as I can for as little effort as possible. ChatGPT, give me 4 hours of script for a stream. Make sure it's got 2 hours in there of reacting to someone else's YouTube video. And by reacting, I mean it's 2 hours of being in the webcam with 30 minutes of me going to the toilet. Grok, generate me an Asmongold stream. I mean, I wouldn't ask I wouldn't ask Grok to generate that stream for you. You can just, like, ask the little mold creatures that have grown in the In-N-Out cups on his desk. They'll do it for even cheaper. And with a lower carbon footprint. Maybe that's, like, Asmongold's long-term financial plan. He's just gonna outsource all of the work to the mold creatures that he's made. Jork, pass me the ball. Cockroaches assemble. It's the shittiest version of Toy Story you've ever fucking seen. He can't feed them. He doesn't believe in drinking water. Okay. That's an incomprehensible sentence. Is this cool board as 4? Fuck off. Cool Borders fans, when the Avalanche fans show up, I have no way to finish this joke. Once again, I am asking my chat to finish the joke for me in their heads. It's more creative than half the streams on Twitch. I've been playing Melee again recently. It's kind of fucking crazy how good Melee is. It doesn't seem to matter how much time passes. That game still, like, constantly throws new situations at me. Just disgusting. I also low-key think that more fighting games... I know Soul Calibur does this. But I think more games should experiment with the concept of DI. Because directional influence on hit gives you a subtle but tangible interaction as the person getting hit. More so than, like, burst. Because burst as a... let's just take Guilty Gear Xrd Burst as, like, a starting point. Guilty Gear Xrd Burst is really, really cool, but once you spend it, you're out of, like, interactions on hit. You can regret your actions, and you can, like, think about what that interaction meant, but you're no longer, like, interacting with the opponent once you burn it. If we're talking, like, Killer Instinct, though, it's like you're interacting with the opponent, but you're interacting in a very absolute way, where you either do or do not interact with your opponent. DI is like, you are interacting with your opponent, but the effects of it are hard to engage with right there and then. And there's more... Okay, there is a... I'm realizing as it's coming out of my mouth that there's actually, like, a lot of nuance to this discussion. But, I'm streaming SSX, so I can't pull it out of my mouth. He's a Donkey Kong main now. Oh, not. I do like the new Donkey Kong redesign. Hold on a minute. I was about to say good things about Nintendo. No. For the crimes that Nintendo has committed to Melee? No. No praise for you. I can't pull it out of my mouth with a blushy emoji. I shouldn't have even read the message. It's encouraging a kind of behavior that I can't accommodate for. Get an incognito tab on the other monitor, get it out of your system. Turn me off if you're gonna do that as well. What the hell? Don't do it whilst I'm on the screen. Come on. I play Splatoon and we almost got shut down for saying free Melee. It's fucking bonkers. I do think that, like, the Nintendo Melee situation, if I'm being as even as possible, Mystery, thank you for the Prime. And if anyone in chat is considering following suit, make sure you drop a gifty alongside it, because you weren't the first one to drop a Prime. You gotta pay the tax. You gotta drop a Prime and a gift sub. That's how that works. Anyway, enough of me e-begging. I do think that the Melee situation, in terms of, like, on a legal level, is really weird, because Nintendo will hound event organizers to make sure that they're, like, not using... That was the greatest stutter of all time, holy shit. They'll hound tournament organizers to make sure that they're not using UCF and, like, Frozen Stadium and shit like that. But then also they just kind of let Slippy roam free, and it's like, where's the priorities here? And I understand that if they shut down Slippy, there would probably be, like, an insane amount of backlash, but, like, it seems like you're leaving yourself open to a very large, like, legal hole. Since when did Nintendo care about backlash? I'm sure they do. I think they do care about public backlash, but they also care about keeping themselves legally kind of in check by making sure that if they spot something, they can shut it down to say that when they have noticed something, they have taken action. So that if they got taken to court, they couldn't get held accountable for knowing about it but not doing anything for an extended period of time. That's just my assumption. I'm not saying it's right, but that's my assumption. They care about Bubsy 3D. Nobody cares about Bubsy 3D. Come on now. Their primary audience is literally children and their parents. Shutting down Slippy would be a week of outrage from internet cultures, but the primary audience would keep buying. This is true. This is absolutely true. But I think that's just like a stronger indication that maybe there is a couple of people at Nintendo that are going, we should consider, like, if this is a good idea in the sense of what do we really gain from this? You know? You're like a fun amount of stupid, Leon. Thanks. As someone who's adamantly anti-intellectual, I greatly appreciate that. I do think that getting rid of Slippy doesn't really benefit Nintendo. I'm not going to say this because I'm a boomer. I'm not saying it because I'm a boomer. But And this is a huge but. I'm just saying, ever since Slippy came out, the people that are playing Melee are... Oh my god, they are such nerds. Everyone is good for no reason. But they're all really good in a really annoying way. Because imagine there is a guy who has spent all their time playing Street Fighter 3. But instead of learning how to interact with the opponent, they've spent the entire time in training mode learning option selects. And so, chances are, you are better than them in a lot of different ways, but they are so optimized in what they are good at that you never get to make the same amount of decisions as them. They have to play in less decisions than you. And this is a scrub quote. Let me make it very clear. I am aware that this is me going, wah, the gamers that are like 17 are better than me, the frail old man. However, I don't like getting dunked on by a Falco that has incredible combos, but will always, without fail, jump off the ledge and then do side B to the ledge grab. And they all fucking do it. Have you noticed that? Welcome to Melee Conspiracy Theory. Every single Falco nowadays has the most godlike fucking combos, but just has no fucking idea how to play off stage. Every single one of them does the exact same fucking thing, but they have to touch you once, and you have to touch them like... Well, I mean, I've been playing the game for 10 years, so I should also only have to touch them once, but I have to touch them like 7 times. It's ridiculous. Okay, nah, I am a lab freak. Out. When Ono made Street Fighter 2, I don't know who made Street Fighter 2. I'm going to assume that it was Ono. When Ono made Street Fighter 2, he didn't make it so that you could sit in your bedroom alone to sit there and go, Dalzim's throw is 2 pixels longer than everyone else's. No. They wanted you to throw fireball, they wanted you to do big legs, and they wanted you to go, oh, fuck me. Want to go to the bar after this? Fuck you with your lab monster bullshit. Oh, I didn't play Dalzim. I played Zangief. Oh, fuck off. You play a cool character and you play it like a fucking wiener. It's still a fucking wiener. You've put an excellent, delectable burger inside of a whole meal dry bun with no sauce. Fuck off. Anyway, now that I've owned the guy that I made up, let's play the video game. Wait, I'm already in? Oh, I got so mad at a fake person that I forgot that I was playing. I do actually play a bit of Sim. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. You've regained yourself in my eyes. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. You're a good person. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. Also drunken hyena. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. Unfortunately, Sim is an Axel Low from the hit series Guilty Gear. I'm not going to turn this stream into a Guilty Gear discussion. However, sorry, I had one of those situations where you're halfway between a burp and vomiting, and you kind of have to risk it, and thankfully I gambled in the right way. Not to turn this into a Guilty Gear discussion stream, but I've been playing a bit more Axel lately, off stream, and I mean this sincerely. I think I wasn't born to play Venom. I think I was born to play Axel, because even though he is a worse character, I think my decision-making is always better on Axel. Because I just think, is he going along the ground? Or is he going in the air? And if I'm right, then I just run the same question again. And if I'm wrong, I go, well, do I parry here or do I DP? And that is a game plan that has gotten me through people that are substantially better than me. And so I think there is a very realistic chance that I end up at Evo France playing Axel of all characters. Oh, fuck. I've just realized I signed up for Evo France 2 months ago with a couple of my mates, and I haven't paid my mates for the hotel. Oops. Can somebody spot me £221 to pay for this hotel? This would be epic. I think I'm going to be there for 5 days. You got enough subs this stream, surely? You know what? I'll give you that. Wouldn't doubt that for a single second. How many gifties is that? I think that is literally 400 and It's a 50-50 split still, and so it's 442. I'm on a Pakistani currency that's like 3/4 of my salary. Fuck shit. I went to a Pakistani wedding. How many years? It would have been a month ago now. And dude, the food was so fucking good. The food was so fucking good. I understand that this is like white man discovers the concept of flavor, but oh my fucking god. It was like every single, you know, there's like the millennial cringe of like food, the person who gets their food and enjoys it by dancing. I kind of was dancing in my seat. It was so good. I understand that it's millennial cringe, and for that I will perish. But the moment that, like, the paneer hit my plate, I was like, I'm kind of living the dream. Final round. Okay, this is the one that matters. Everyone lock in. I don't know why I'm telling you to lock in. You don't... Yeah, hand the stream the controller. Go on, you play. Do it. Lock the hell in, chatter. That's what I'm saying. Chatter, you wouldn't want to let down your streamer, would you? The punishment is 1,000,000 gifties. I've never played SSX. I think you should change that. If you do want to play SSX, I can't speak for SSX 2012, but I would play SSX Tricky 3 and maybe 12 if you can get a hold of it. I did just say that I wouldn't speak on SSX 12s, but 2012, but you know, here I am. 2012 is also good. Okay, so I haven't played 2012 because it doesn't work on the PlayStation 3. I also thought that it was pretty good, but then someone in the chat said that it was kind of a bit mid. And I'm going to trust them, mostly because I haven't played it myself. If I had put any time into it at all, beyond what the emulator would let me put in, I would be having a heated argument with you right now. But since I can't, I'll say you're right. But also, I'm trying to find a funny out for this sentence. You know what? We could double dip 2 times in a stream. Chat, think of a funny ending for that sentence. Chat, just construct the whole bit for me. Why not? Leon doesn't know that I'm top 50 in a game with 49 players. Me looking at multiverses. There we go. I was like, fuck, I need to find a game that won't upset anyone if I'm like, this game has no players. I got there. At least it has Eddie in it. It's fucking crazy that this game doesn't have Eddie. It's really weird. Are you playing SSX 2012 pre or post time skip? What does this mean? No, not Eddie Gordo. The Afro dude. Ginger hair. Kind of has like spotty features on his clothes. All right. It's getting... this is a weird reason to stop. But it's getting so warm that I'm worried that my computer is going to fucking implode. And so we do this, and then we call it. Also, I'm not sure what that blue flashing is. I think that might be a rendering error. Because I don't think that's in the game normally. Oh my god, what the fuck? Game? Give me the input, please? I have never been down this way. What the fuck is happening? He keeps looking over and not reading our messages. We need to be funnier, chat. And when you're right, you're right. The problem with that message, though, and all messages in that same vein, maybe even more all messages in general, is that it implies that you should try to be funnier, but the more that you try to be funny, the less... Not you personally. Well, I guess you personally. The more you try to be funny, chances are the less funny that you're going to be, you fucking dickhead. Comedy is kind of like charisma. Some people just got it, and most people just kind of don't. But they're chill in different ways. Don't worry, chatter. I'm not singling you out. Unless I am, in which case, I'll try and spin this in a positive way some other time. Comedy is like Leon making us finish his setups. Well, this is the thing. If you do it, if I did that for long enough, which I will, like, that just becomes the bit. At that point, it genuinely is kind of funny. You, as the pawn of my own script writing, much the way that ChatGPT is the pawn in many a businessman's script writing, are there to do all the work for me, and yet I reap all the reward. Do you remember like an hour ago when we were talking about how AI is kind of just being used as a tool to generate slop that provides profit? Me telling the chat to finish the joke for me is just my version of AI. It probably uses the same amount of, like, power draw as ChatGPT as well. Big natural mushy peas. Okay, well, that is, that's a sentence. This one, next one, even if I end up in 4th, that's it. It's getting too damn warm in this room. I was looking over at the second monitor, and in the same way that I don't know enough about Greek philosophy to finish the bit, who's that motherfucker in Greek myth that looks into a river and falls in love with himself so hard that he, like, drowns because he's looking at his own reflection? Narcissus! Oh! I wasn't even looking at the little, like, picture of me that makes me Narcissus, you know? Truly, the OBS preview is my pond. Okay. We end stream there. We call that what it is. Bye-bye! Oh, wait, shit. That's not what I say. I say explosion.